Hi folks, so here I am again sitting at my favorite spot where I've been shooting all these detective videos I've been posting on on YouTube so far, it's definitely one of my favorite spots here. I think, you know, from a audio point of view, it's really great. There's no echo. There's sufficient light, especially now after we've shifted to summertime. So I feel quite comfortable sitting here, and I think I really need to feel comfortable to shoot this video. So looking at the title, you might be wondering, what is this all about? So friendship shift or shift in friendship. How come I'm shooting a video like this tonight, and how come the topic I'm going to tackle tonight differs so much from the topics of the videos I've been shooting so far, and what do I really imply, what is it I really like to address tonight on this video? Well, first of all, in the context of this opening mood, I've been trying to jot down a few notes. I'm afraid I haven't been very successful at it. I jotted down a few ideas. I might be just glancing at them occasionally, but basically I think I'm going to just pour out my heart and simply say frankly the way I'm feeling tonight. So nothing dramatic. Basically, I think I'd like to maybe start out with this disclaimer. No, nothing dramatic, but just a couple of profound thoughts I've been entertaining over the past certainly days, weeks, and if I'm quite honest to myself and true to myself, even years. Come to think about it, and only tonight am I coming to the conclusion that I'd like to actually put this all down in the form of this video and share these thoughts with you. So the topic is, do we have to release sometimes all friendships when we feel that we do not align with them anymore? So this is misalignment, in other words, enough a reason to dump long-standing friendships, or should we try to work harder? Well, first of all, let me just put things into the right context. I mean, I wouldn't want to, for privacy reasons, I wouldn't want to actually quote names of people that are really meant in the context of this video. They might view this video if they find my YouTube channel interesting enough to actually discover that I've been posting a video about this. If they, I don't know if they are checking out my channel, but the people I'm thinking about, the people that I mean in this context, are long-standing friends, people I've known for not years but decades, and I can even say that I grew up with them. I mean, in some instances we're talking about people that I've known since my childhood, and in some other instances they're people that I met at varsity, university, so high school, basically after secondary school, after your bachelor. So you make these friends, and they can actually become very meaningful friendships over the years, and some friendships like this remain, stay for the rest of your life. And this is something I was very much hoping, and that's at least a value I've been trying to stick to right from the very beginning of our friendship, at the outset of our friendship. And I was always hoping that things would go this way. But so what am I really observing now, and why am I shooting this video? Why am I re-questioning what I've been regarding so far as a life principle of mine? Well, so what I'm noticing is, in just put in a nutshell, is a shift. I feel that I'm drifting from them. Now, if I hadn't re-questioned myself, I could even be saying that I feel that these friendships have that I've outgrown these friendships. But since I don't want to sound self-conceited, I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable using this terminology of outgrowing, you know, because that would place me in a position of superiority towards them, and I think that wouldn't be fair. Let's just put it in a neutral way. I think we've drifted and we've simply become different. And now, what am I really noticing? And let's just get down to the nitty-gritty of what I've been observing and why I'm feeling like this, basically. What I've been, again, I'll have to glance at my notes a little bit because I've got so many ideas, you know, shooting through my head. So I have to really get down to the main statement. First of all, the first thing I've noticed is the content of our conversation has become completely different. They stick to the news, you know, really these gloomy topics that you're bound to catch on TV when you plug in your TV set and you watch the news. How the world is going from bad to worse, how useless our politicians are, how terrible the state of the world is. And hey, I'm not saying that what they're saying is not right. I'm not disputing what they're saying, basically. I think they are quite right. So it's not about the actual content. I'm not saying that what they're saying is wrong or that I don't go along with them. But it's a matter of quantity and how these statements in the course of a normal conversation outdo all the rest. And what do I mean by all the rest? Well, it's basically how you're really doing, how each one of us are doing. What kind of life are you leading? What actually gives you hope in life? What kind of projects do you have? What kind of outlooks do you have in your life? So if I just dig back into the past and remember the kind of conversations we had when we were in our young years, I mean, these were the guys I could hang around with on Friday night or after university, and we could just go and have a beer and just have a good laughter, have a good fit of laughter, have a good giggle. I mean, there was also a serious side. We could talk about interesting things. We would actually buck up each other, give each other contacts, you know, when searching for contacts that we needed for our studies. I mean, we were really actually quite solitary. So the people actually I liked hanging around with, and they became a bit like soul brothers. But now these soul brothers that were actually merry, cheerful, had a good sense of humor, have become gloomy, grey, pessimistic, and have this this grim view on life in general. Now, as I said, I can't say that I disagree with them. I mean, the world is really in a shabby situation on many, many levels, and things are not really looking up. But I think nevertheless, in spite of the general context, you have to find yourself a meaning for your life. And you have to have a life project that's meaningful and that includes all the dear ones around you, the people that you love, your friends, family members. And I think it's our birthright and it's our duty, I would even go as far as to say, to line up a good life that's meaningful and that is it is going to get you where you want to be in life. And I'm not talking about material achievements. Maybe I'm talking more about spiritual ones. So I think, yes, the world is in a crappy situation. It's really creepy. But at the same time, I do believe that we have our duty to have a good and a decent and meaningful life in this context. And that's where I lost them completely, because I don't hear anything that goes along these lines of thoughts when I talk to them. It's just the world is in a terrible situation, and even about that there is no solution. It's just complain without solution. So the content of the conversation, then the other thing is the tone. all the humor we used to share has dwindled completely, has disappeared completely. So I wonder where it has gone. We don't seem to be able to look at the light-hearted side of life anymore. It's all about all these serious topics. Now, when we met, we were, 9 or 10, and later on 20 for the other part of the group. Now we are on the verge of turning 60. But still, I think we should have all the more reasons to maintain this positive mindset, because things are not going to get any better, so we have to make things better or happen in a better, more constructive way. Then that leads me to think that there is a huge shift in our values. If we don't have the same sense of humor, if we don't share the same outlook on life, then our values have drifted apart completely, and we've got nothing to share except these topics and our past. So that's one thing I'm looking at. Then I might be thinking that, and that's the first question I ask myself when I notice this negative trend: what am I really doing wrong about them? Could I be the reason why things, since they seem to be a compact block and they seem to go along very well among themselves, when it comes to these gloomy conversation topics, they seem to get along very well. So could I be the reason, or could I be the problem, if just put in a very blunt way? And I think I can call myself quite a self-critical person, and when I'm faced with a situation like this, I like to first of all re-question my values. Could I be that I'm doing something wrong? That's what I do at work, and that's the way that people know me. People who know me have witnessed me and have experienced me in many situations. When I'm faced with a challenge like this, the first question I ask myself is, what am I doing wrong? What should I do differently? So of course I went through this process of analyzing my mindset, and I don't want to change it. I don't want to lie down to their grim, gloomy mindset and lose my optimism, my positive outlook, to sacrifice it just to line up to their set of value. Then that's one thing. And then at the other end, I'm noticing that I still have the ability, and I can do it very easily, to get in touch, first of all, with people. I find establishing contact something fascinating, and I love to talk to strangers, people I've never met, be it on a train, on a plane, in an airport, in a coffee shop, or in a more broad social context. And I found it very easy. And I've got all sorts of reasons to do so. I love to listen to people's stories. And I like to share my own stories as well. And I found it very easy to do so. When I travel, it happens to me the whole time. Recently I was on a long trip for 3 weeks, and I came back and I found how easily it was to rub elbows with people. Now you might say, of course, these are casual contacts and it's not going to lead you anywhere, and most of these contacts will you lose them anyway. And I absolutely agree. There is a superficial dimension to getting in touch with people in a casual way and having just a conversation at night and just parting company the next day, or on the very same night. But what I'm noticing is another trend. I've recently also met other people that I'm beginning to feel that they're beginning to become my friends. So we can talk about different topics. We have endless conversations about all kinds of topics, and it's recurrent. So when I open my phone, I find a message asking them, asking me how am I doing. If I would like to have a conversation with them, if I would like to have a call, where we're going to meet. And that gives me the comfort that I'm not the person who is actually not qualified for making friendship. I'm not socially incompetent, but I think I'm quite able to strike up new and significant friendships. And by the way, it's not something I'm afraid of at all. And by the way, I'm not afraid of being alone. I can enjoy my own company pretty well. I can pull out a good book. I can entertain myself. I don't need to have people around the whole time. So one thing with the other, if I just put in parallel these two tendencies, I've got on the one hand long-standing friendships that I feel that I'm sharing less and less with, and when I try to show myself the way I am, I get laughed at. I don't even really feel taken seriously by this bunch of people and friends. And on the other hand, I'm finding myself at a crossroads in my life where new people are interested in getting to know me, they'd like to talk to me, they'd like to become my friend, and I feel that this is all possible. So back to the question with which I initiate this video is, should we dump all friendships? Well, my answer would probably be, no, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it altogether. But I certainly need to step back from them a little bit to reduce the frequency of the contacts and to enforce my boundaries and my principles. I think that's very important. I'm not afraid to be who I am. I'm not afraid of showing myself the way I am. And if it means that one day we'll be on non-talking terms, or we simply won't be friends anymore, I think I can pretty much live with it. Am I resentful? That's also a question that resonates in my head. Well, no, I'm not. I'm actually quite at peace with the way things are going, because I've been able to place a name on the issue. There is a shift, there is a difference, and I've freed myself also from this idea. Maybe that's the most important statement of all of this video. I've freed myself from the idea that long-standing friendships are sacred and have to be kept at all costs, because this thought puts an enormous amount of pressure on whoever has this thought and entertains it. So if you free yourself from this thought, and then you can embrace new horizons, new perspectives, and new friendships. I'm at peace. I'm happy. I know that the world is in a very, very, absolutely shabby situation. I know things are not in a good. I know the world is not in a good position. Be it environmentally, be it geopolitically. But I know that I can be happy in spite of all these challenges. It's my duty and it's my birthright, and that's the way I would like to lead my life. Thank you very much for listening to me tonight. I'm curious about the comments you might make on this video, because it's, as I said, it's really very unconventional. It has nothing to do with the videos I've been shooting so far. Don't worry, I will resume posting normal videos between inverted brackets about languages, interviews. I'm not going to stay in this melancholy mode. But tonight I felt that I had to share this thought with you, because it has been on my mind for, well, I would say for years, but more specifically over the past weeks and days. And I feel that I have to share this with you, and I thank you very much for your attention. Let me know how you feel about it, about this dilemma of dumping all friendships or keeping them in spite of the frictions, in spite of the difference, and how much friendship, how much importance and how much effort should you allocate to these long-standing friendships that you feel you've outgrown, and how much should you just take the broad view and look at what new friendships and new concepts have in store in your life. I'd be very happy to hear your insights. Thank you very much again. Bye-bye.